These days, we've cultivated a culture of anticipation, where it doesn't seem ridiculous when Marvel Studios announces they have plans for films all the way through 2028. So of course, even though we're in the midst of summer 2014, our thoughts are already turning to summer 2015. And hey, considering the movies that are set to come out, can you really blame us? Let's take an early sneak peek. Now at this point, everyone realizes that Marvel's gamble to get out in front of the overcrowded summer movie season was a stroke of genius. And in 2015, Universal will utilize that same strategy with Fast 7. But what we also know at this point is that Captain America: The Winter Soldier raised the bar so high, both in terms of quality and box office quantity, that the following summer slate has struggled to escape Cap's shadow. Will Fast 7 cast an equally big shadow? It's already heavily anticipated due to Paul Walker's tragic death, as well as Universal's decision to keep his character in the film with Walker's brothers filling in. Fast 7 is also on a lot of people's radar because it's director James Wan's first mainstream flick outside of the horror genre, and his first big budget flick as well. Now let's fast forward to May, still the official start of the summer movie season, which once again kicks off with a Marvel movie. And what a Marvel movie! Avengers: Age of Ultron will see our favorite team of heroes reunite 3 years after their first adventure, although these heroes are hardly strangers thanks to a handful of solo movies that have tided us over in the meantime. And talk about setting the bar high, this time Marvel has done it for themselves. Surely James Cameron, who's planning his own sequels, will be watching to see if such phenomenal and rare success can be duplicated. Next up, we get another female team-up, this time with Reese Witherspoon and Sofia Vergara in Don't Mess with Texas. On-screen, Witherspoon is a police officer on the run with the wife of a drug dealer played by Vergara. But off-screen, Witherspoon is trying to stage a comeback, while Modern Family star Vergara is trying to make the leap to the big screen. Now, the first Pitch Perfect got a fall release date and was a surprise hit, so now the sequel has been upgraded to a summer slot. Anna Kendrick and Rebel Wilson will have to sing their hearts out, though, if they hope to compete with not just Pixels, the Adam Sandler, Kevin James, Josh Gad, Peter Dinklage video game actioner, but also Mad Max Fury Road, as the much-delayed Tom Hardy Charlize Theron reboot finally makes it to theaters. Then Melissa McCarthy reteams with director Paul Feig for a third time after Bridesmaids and The Heat, this time for Spy, where McCarthy plays a secret agent. Bridesmaids co-star Rose Byrne will also join the reunion, while Jason Statham will star in his second big movie of the summer after Fast 7. And speaking of secrets, mystery surrounds Disney's Tomorrowland, which opens the same weekend. For his second live-action film, Brad Bird is teaming up with Lost's Damon Lindelof behind the camera and George Clooney and Hugh Laurie in front of the camera. No one knows exactly what the film is about, but Disney is hoping it will re-energize all of their Tomorrowlands worldwide. Then Paramount, after losing DreamWorks Animation to Fox, launches their own animation unit with live-action animation hybrid Monster Trucks. This project is also being kept under wraps, but Blue Sky founder Chris Wedge will not only direct his first film with live-action components, but also his first film outside of Blue Sky. So as of right now, which May release are you the most excited about? I'd say the obvious choice is Avengers: Age of Ultron, but it looks like Disney will dominate the first month of summer, as any self-respecting Incredibles fan has got to be excited about Tomorrowland. Now let's take a look at June, where these days patience is usually beginning to wear thin with audiences. If May doesn't come off perfectly, well, this is when we start to see the drop-off. Will Boo, Bureau of Otherworldly Operations, and San Andreas be able to keep the momentum going or get it going again? Boo will see DreamWorks Animation attempt to launch yet another new franchise, but these days they can't even keep the old ones going. Can a stellar voice cast, including Seth Rogen, Melissa McCarthy, Bill Murray, and Matt Bomer, keep this from coming across as a rehash of R.I.P.D.? As for San Andreas, Dwayne Johnson, so successful as a supporting player in the Fast and Furious franchise, will try to prove once again he's leading man material as well with his earthquake actioner. Then the next weekend, we get another long-anticipated movie as Entourage finally gets into the VIP section with its own flick. Let's hope it's as successful as James Cameron's Aquaman, as that will only improve the chances of HBO upgrading Game of Thrones to the big screen next. But Entourage will square off against a real blockbuster as Jurassic World also hits theaters that same weekend, featuring quickly rising star Chris Pratt and also Omar Sy, co-star of 2011's global sensation The Untouchables. And all eyes will certainly be on the Fantastic Four reboot, not only because the franchise needs a serious makeover, but because everyone will want to see why exactly Lucasfilm picked director Josh Trank to helm one of their upcoming Star Wars spin-offs. If he doesn't deliver here, let the doomsday speculation begin. Now, just 2 weeks after DreamWorks Animation's Boo, Pixar will finally get back in the game with Inside Out. After getting sidetracked with sequels, this is Pixar's first of 2 original flicks this year. Will they be able to restore their creative reputation? Then June closes out with 2 comedies. First, there's Ted 2, where Seth MacFarlane hopes to restore his reputation after misfiring with A Million Ways to Die in the West. But Meryl Streep should be tough competition in Ricki The Flash, where Streep will play a rock star trying to do right by her estranged daughter. It certainly worked in Mamma Mia, and here Streep will be working off of a script by Diablo Cody with Jonathan Demme directing. So far I'd have to say my top pick for June 2015 is Jurassic World. I love the franchise, and like the rest of the world, I'm becoming a pretty big Chris Pratt fan. What's your top pick for June 2015? Things are certainly going to heat up in July as Magic Mike 2 glides into theaters for 4th of July weekend. While rumor has it Matthew McConaughey will not be returning for the sequel, this will certainly put Channing Tatum in an interesting position between Foxcatcher and X-Men Apocalypse 2016. That holiday weekend, Magic Mike will go up against another muscled man who likes to strip to the bone. Arnold is back again in his signature role as the franchise once again tries to live up to its T2 glory days. This time around, it's an entire reboot with Game of Thrones' Emilia Clarke as Sarah Connor, Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese, Deo Okuni as Miles Dyson's son, and Jason Clarke as John Connor. And South Korea's Byung-hun Lee is rumored to play our evil Terminator. Speaking of evil, those minions have been up to no good for a long time, as we'll find out in their origin story, set to hit theaters the next weekend. Despicable Me 2 almost grossed $1 billion worldwide, so look for this spin-off to do big business. It will go the Austin Powers route with a trip back to the 1960s, with Sandra Bullock and John Hamm doing voice work. Then Ant-Man finally hits theaters, and perhaps we'll finally understand why Edgar Wright walked off of the project after 8 years in development. Peyton Reed now directs, while Will Ferrell's partner in crime Adam McKay is giving the script a once-over as a solid for Marvel, as well as for his Anchorman 2 star Paul Rudd, who appears here alongside Michael Douglas and Evangeline Lilly. And of course, this is the old Batman v Superman date before it bowed out for summer 2016. And Warner Brothers still intends to remain competitive here with their live-action Peter Pan. Disney has found tremendous success in the genre they created, but Warner Brothers is hoping to make this a new battleground between the 2 studios. Levi Miller and Garrett Hedlund star as Peter Pan and Captain Hook in Happier Days, when they worked together to fight Hugh Jackman's Blackbeard. Rooney Mara also stars, controversially, as Tiger Lily. Next, Judd Apatow enters the fray with Trainwreck, another top-secret project that teams the comedy guru up with Amy Schumer. Apatow has had great luck with female comedians, but for backup, Trainwreck also stars Ezra Miller, Bill Hader, Tilda Swinton, Brie Larson, and Barkhad Abdi? Then yet another comedy the next weekend with Sacha Baron Cohen's Grimsby. Here, Cohen does double duty as a black ops agent and his football hooligan brother. Comedies have been a box office highlight this summer, but are there simply too many slated for 2015? A welcome change of pace will be Tim Burton's Peregrine's Home for Peculiars opening the same weekend. All right, what's your top pick for July 2015? I'd like to say Terminator, but I'm beginning to think that franchise is more T-800 than T-1000. It simply can't take the beating. That means my vote goes to Magic Mike 2, as I'm curious to see just how far they'll be willing to go for the sequel. Welcome to Wildcard Month, and sure enough this month is still pretty open, as no film likes to admit it's a wild card, at least this early in the game. Right now, first up, we've got Assassin's Creed starring Michael Fassbender. While Hitman will give the silver screen a second shot a few months earlier in February 2015, Assassin's Creed hopes to kickstart a video game renaissance on the big screen in earnest, similar to the one comic books are currently enjoying. But it will have to compete with nostalgia as the Point Break remake hits theaters the same weekend, as well as Goosebumps. The R.L. Stine series has been a childhood staple since 1992 and is finally getting a movie, yet it stars Jack Black. Then the next weekend, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, and Eazy-E get the bio treatment with Straight Outta Compton, which will go up against another comedy, this time from SNL's Lorne Michaels. Currently known as Untitled Armored Car Project, it will star Zach Galifianakis, Owen Wilson, and Kristen Wiig. Let's hope Are You Here doesn't give this comedy a flat tire before it even has a chance to get on the road. Finally, the only other film currently set for August 2015 is Regression, where the Others director Alejandro Amenabar directs another thriller starring Ethan Hawke and Emma Watson. My top pick for this month would have to be Assassin's Creed, purely because I think it's fascinating that Michael Fassbender is doubling down on genre properties, but then I really liked the others. What August 2015 movie are you the most looking forward to seeing, and how does the whole summer movie season look to you? Still exciting even though we aren't getting that Marvel vs. DC matchup after all? Be sure to write your thoughts down below. I'm Grace Randolph and this has been a Movie Bite. You can watch more right now.